Well, we are all bothered, but we have to see whether those are elected representatives are really bothered, because these issues have not been raised in Parliament.
That's precisely what I'm saying. That the rape accused are members of Parliament and assemblies.
Let's just throw that question to both the Congress and the BJP. Nirmala Sitharaman and Keshav Rao, would you want to respond to what Vineet Narayan just raised?
Look here, whether one responds or not, the fact remains that such a shameful event should not take place. As representative people, I think more than as Vineet is, I am one of the activists, which Nirmala also knows. So let us not really bring back what exactly we have been in the forest or what exactly we have been in the rural areas. That's apart. Today, this is such a shameful thing. The two things, we must be very sensitive to what is happening. I am not finding fault with Sitharaman joining the group or joining the agitation. I am finding fault. Look, there has been a spontaneous upsurge, a moral upsurge, a protest, a revolt.
Now, Mr. Rao, a question that would in fact be asked to the political fraternity, the political class, and this question I'm directing to both you as well as Ms. Nirmala Sitharaman from the BJP. The sort of urgency that was shown in the salary allowances and pension of members of Parliament Amendment Bill 2010, August 25, 2010 introduced, passed in Lok Sabha August 27, 2010, passed in Rajya Sabha August 31, 2010. Cut to the Protection of Women Against Sexual Harassment at Workplace Bill 2010. Current status, passed by Lok Sabha, not by the Rajya Sabha. We also talk about Women's Reservation Bill, introduced on 6th of May 2008, passed by Rajya Sabha on 9th of March 2010, not passed by the Lok Sabha at this particular point in time. So, Ms. Sitharaman, the question that the people are going to ask is that, is the political representation of this country failing somewhere?
Absolutely not. That is the point I'm trying to. In fact, much before you raised this question about the Women's Reservation Bill, I volunteered to say that we are willing to go that extra mile every time. We passed that in the Rajya Sabha. It hasn't come to the Lok Sabha yet. About the Lokpal bill, that may not be pertinent to this particular debate, but the fact remains that even there, it was us who passed it in the Rajya Sabha, and it is awaited in the Lok Sabha when it was passed, and the Lokpal bill when it came to this Rajya Sabha. You saw the way in which the government played out
That's another
a big
contentious
thing.
issue.
And therefore, it is contentious because both of them highlight the fact that the ruling party, the Congress party, has its own agenda, and in spite of the opposition party, in both these cases, specific examples that I've given you on my own much before you raised it,
why wasn't the
we are willing to do that extra walk, that extra mile we are willing to go further, but it is the government's intention which is not very clear in each of these matters. And so in this case, when you're raising issues that there is a bill pending, we are not talking about it, it is for the government to process it and to put it forward. We are engaging with them in every possible way. That is not happening at all when it comes to critical issues. And therefore, pointedly every time to question the opposition party saying you're stalling it is absolutely incorrect. In this matter, nobody stalled them from responding to the people who were coming to the Rajpath, who asked them to wait for 8 royal days to come back. And much before that, what was their response? Through the police.
Two questions.
Is that the way you operate?
Sitharaman, if you can hear me, 2 questions. Now, first up, if you were so serious about the Women's Reservation Bill, why didn't you stall proceedings in the Lok Sabha like you did for the FDI and multi-brand retail on the Women's Reservation Bill? Secondly, why didn't you raise the Criminal Law Amendment Bill 2012 that was introduced on the 4th of December? Why didn't you raise that? Was it not important? Why didn't you push that bill to be passed? It is important,
but when you're talking of Colgate, Colgate is important. When you're talking about certain other quickly developing law and order issues, it is equally important. So as an opposition party, we are trying to raise issues on almost everyday basis based on the kind of seriousness seriousness of the issue. So I think that's how you have to look at the opposition's role and not blame us for the government's inefficiency.
All right, Mr. Vikas Singh, former Additional Solicitor General, also joins us. Now, Mr. Singh, what is your view on all these things? I mean, as far as the BJP is concerned, it justifies the issues that it raises periodically in the backdrop of certain events that take place. Like Nirmala Sitharaman said, Colgate was perhaps an issue in the light of which it was raised in the Parliament. Subsequently, this particular issue as well. But where do you stand on this entire issue from the law perspective?
I'll tell you there are 2 aspects to the particular issue that we are discussing today. One is the post-incident aspect. Post-incident aspect is actually bringing the culprits to book and, you know, making them face the law, which the Delhi police has done a very good job. And officers who have been responsible in doing the investigation, etc., have been able to nab all the culprits, and they will all face law in accordance with the legal system that prevails today in this country. But the larger issue for which the people are on the street is a policing issue. Now, if the numbers are growing on the street, it really means that the people are not at all convinced that the police is working for the Aam Aadmi. The average, you know, person's perception of the police is that either he is, you know, guarding the VIP, or he is looking into complaints of the VIP. If an ordinary person goes to the police, the impression that he gets is that the police is not really responding favorably. Now that's a leadership issue. According to me, that's not a legal issue in the sense. Now, when a army officer can motivate a Jawan to give his life for the country, it's because of the leadership quality that the officer, you know, is able to instill by his, you know, the way he was able to motivate his people. Now, if you go to a place where, you know, policing is good, you will always find that the leader has been able to instill some kind of discipline amongst the people, amongst the force. Now, today, if there is a problem where people are feeling unsafe, it is because they feel that the average policeman on the street is not interested. Yes, it's a problem of leadership. Is not interested in the Aam Aadmi. The Aam Aadmi is only to be harassed by the police. The police is basically all these VIPs, member of parliaments, ministers, whoever are coming on the TV and
it's a very valid point you have raised, Mr. Singh.
People. They are not ready to shed their own security for the purpose of, you know, ensuring that the Aam Aadmi is protected. They are the
exactly. In fact, the point,
today, if they are
Mr. Singh, the point
debate,
that you have
asking them.
We'll in fact put that point across.
I am asking them why don't they do their own job? I mean, their job is to make laws. When the parliament is in session, they don't do their job. They boycott the parliament, and when a problem which is basically a policing problem has come up, they want a special session of parliament. So basically, they are wanting to, you know, do vote bank politics in a very serious issue like this. I feel it's shameful on the part of these politicians to ask.
You raised the point about people. Mr. Singh.
What is the vote bank politics in this? It's about women of India. They don't form a vote bank here. I'm sorry to say this. It is a very critical issue. However, because of the circumstances, I think if it is important, it has to be discussed. Let us not talk about vote bank politics here. Women are no vote bank, but it is important. And in fact, on the contrary, because there are no vote banks, nobody seem to be taking them seriously. But unfortunately, because of the developments now, at least because of the developments now, let us face the issue and look at it from the point of view of what legislative steps will have to be taken to plug loopholes or to make some of the existing laws further harsher, so that there is a deterrent to everything that is happening.
If you're saying there is no vote bank politics, Sunday the gang rape happened. Monday and Tuesday, 2 days in Parliament. It was only on Tuesday that the voices were raised. But the fact is, why didn't the women cutting across party lines raise their voice on Monday and insist that an amendment be discussed? Maybe Parliament session be extended by 1 or 2 days and the amendment in the laws be made immediately. Why didn't that happen? Why didn't the women across party lines, senior leaders, stood up and made long speeches? But nobody insisted on an extended day, 1 or 2 days, and an amendment immediate and propose an immediate amendment.
And it became an issue on the road. Jaya Bachchan comes and cries in the parliament. She should have asked for all those SP, MPs and MLAs who are there, who have serious charges of harassment and sexual harassment and rape to be suspended. Why do all that posturing on television?
Shazia, me just getting a new voice here. Mishika Singh is also with us. Now, Mishika, the point was raised about people, that the police has to serve the people, and in this particular case, if we talk about the Delhi police, their slogan also is "with you, for you, always." That means they are meant for the people. The point that Mr. Singh raised about the police, they're protecting the VIPs, ignoring the common man. Do you think this is a very core issue, a very fundamental issue that worries a lot of women in Delhi?
This is exactly the point that we've been trying to raise, that we don't feel safe with policemen around. If we're walking on the streets at 11 in the night, we will never approach a PCR van for help, because that kind of faith in the police is lost. So you talk about deploying more PCR vans, it's not going to help as long as people don't have any faith.
In fact, just to add on to what you are saying, Mishika, 3 cops to protect each VIP. These are statistics. One cop to protect 761 citizens of the country. That is the figure. This figure is very alarming, and this is something perhaps, Ms. Sitaraman, that the political fraternity has to look
into. It's one cop to harass.
That is one of the reasons why we are calling for a joint emergency parliament session, special session.
People get attention is when, you know, they directed, when something like this happens, they collect at a place and
nobody has
protest.
bothered to inform the police.
Where you get so much police attention from the people. Otherwise, no one cares. That bus was traveling on the roads for a lot of hours. Some people who stay there have claimed that there are a lot of barricades over there. What was the police doing at that time? How can they shirk from their responsibilities and say, now action will be taken? Why are these things still happening on roads when the police is claiming that they are deploying PCR vans, they have, you know, women constables everywhere? Where are these people? They're not found anywhere. Yesterday also when I was at India Gate, there were policemen who were beating up women.
Exactly.
And their answer when people retaliated and said, why are you doing this? Their you know, you can't hit women. Their reaction was, we right now just hitting you, we can do much more. Actually, so when policemen are saying these kind of things, while we are protesting for women's rights, what do you expect to happen in future? We don't have that kind of faith in any of the police people. So till the time this faith is not instilled in us, nothing can help. And about the political issue, I don't identify with any party, but right now whoever is coming and talking, they have some background of some party. My problem is the rapes have been taking place for almost, they've always been taking place.
That's such a valid point, Ms. Sitaraman. Do you see this common anger?
For someone to pick it up in the parliament or for the opposition.
It's not just directed against the ruling dispensation. This is directed against the political class.
Absolutely.
And that is where the political fraternity has failed them.
That is where I would want to recollect what Sushma ji had said in the morning through a press release. And somebody else earlier in the panel was speaking about leadership and how leadership can make a difference. Sushma ji very clearly said the moment she took over as Chief Minister of Delhi, then some time ago, she used to make midnight trips to instill confidence in the citizens that the Chief Minister herself is out on the streets to see what is the situation. So what is the question that we are talking about? The point that was raised by one of the gentlemen, that leadership has to instill confidence.